Hi, my name is Keiko. Please call me KT. Today, I talk about my 1 year experience in working in corporate in Japan. So, I work in a full-time at a nice hotel. I was accepted around this time last year, so mentally, I'm working with them for a year. 1 year is a lot of time in my opinion. Lots of time to learn from. It's like I'm living together with a company. So hopefully in this video, I can share what I found in Japanese working culture through my experiences. I will divide this into 6 parts. We will start from our normal. 1. Culture of new graduate. Here in Japan, we have a group of people called new graduate. Basically, people are fresh graduates from college or just entering the workforce to make this group. So what is this group for? Basically, this group as a whole will be seen as apprentice. The company prepares a training program before you start to work for new graduate to learn what the company expects and to learn what the difference between student and working for a company. For example, one of the assignments I actually experienced, so you are given a book card. You can purchase a book about what it's like to be a new graduate. Many books talk about culture, importance of communication, responsibility, and you as a representative of the company. I felt like I was temporarily back to school. 2. Matching. 2. なんで What's this? 2. Matching. 2. Matching. Every company has its own purpose and set of values. So when you start working at a company, it is really important to find the one that matches you, your value, and your personality. Because in the end, it'll be easier for us to stay longer with them. Same as relationships. If you started to get to know each other before you go into serious relationship like marriage, you can test if the person is good or not good. However, here's the dilemma. You don't know what is actually going on at the workplace until you actually get to start work. So 3. Senpai Kohai. Some of you may have heard of this, but welcome to Japanese working culture! This is one of the most important features, customs, and rules in Japan. So Senpai Kohai is basically a power relationship between people based on how long you're in the professional field. So if you are in Japan, you are able to witness starting at a young age, going to school, sport team in the company, started even 1 day earlier to perform on the stage. The person deserves all the respect from newer person. This culture might be common around the world, especially in any work, professional or sports fields, but I would say this seems to be even clearer because of our languages, Keiko. I'm Keiko, in which we use to respect others like ありがとうございます。何々でございますか instead of 何々ですか like 何々でございますか何でしょうか instead of 何々で何々ですか何々ですね So newer people are required to use Keigo to the seniors. If not, what the heck? Yup, that's what you get. In my opinion, I mean, on the one hand, this makes sense. At the same time, it's not. Because sometimes, even your senpai does not work well, you still have to respect the person. Wow, you can do it on the surface level, of course. Which I don't like small talk. It also makes you feel like everything is happening on the surface level. And like for me, who cherish the connection between people, it's a little hard. Because then when I'm talking with this person, I have no, like, it's like forever small talk. So on the other hand, this sometimes sucks. So here's my story. I was one of the newest people at work, right? And one of the managers literally bullied me. Note, this was almost the first time I ever get bullied. I never had any enemy in my life. Like, everyone was my good friend. So I was like, what? Scary. Like, why these people doesn't like me? I mean, it's okay. I learned this mentality of I don't give a fuck in America. But, like, why would you do that? Like, why would... For what reason you disrespect me like that? And aren't we team? Yeah. But anyways, so I was telling this story to some reliable seniors. But long story short, in the end, the same manager, the bully manager, gave me a document that says, you have to listen. You have to listen because I am your senior. My reaction was like, what on earth of combat activity?
That moment, everything inside her exploded and turned into ash. Her dreams, her hopes, her career, everything. All she wanted was revenge, so she decided to leave for now. The end.
For me, when things is wrong, it's wrong! I was not even allowed to tell my side of the story. So I was like, okay, where is the justice? Where is the justice? So, in my opinion, honestly, they're failing in terms of management because they should be able to hear both sides first of all and protect the human rights of the team member regardless of senpai kohai. Also, there's too much respect towards our culture/society that makes unfair treatment with no actual measurement of what is right and wrong. 4. Culture of you should better think by yourself. For me, this is one of the coldest culture in Japan. So let me explain. Suppose you have a question in your mind or you want to confirm one thing with your senior, okay? So you ask a question. Where's the document? You're in trouble. Answer you may get is like, hey, she asked me this. Did Emery didn't say anything about that? And the person already started to text to the Emery or everyone else, and one little question could make the whole situation super complicated, unnecessary, and messed up. On the one hand, it is amazing that you take all the responsibility for the question, but sometimes all we want to know is, I don't know, right? Of course, there's an exception, like some of my seniors were really kind and they always told me to ask anything if I have a question in my mind. So I really appreciate that. What is work for you? Is it giving you a meaning of life? Is it something you do for money? Or is it something you build your experience in your life? I understand the difference in the purpose of work. Work is business, so you have to be serious. I understand this point. However, in my opinion, I find it meaningless when we stop enjoying the work. For example, when a person takes their work too seriously, suppose they're fucked up, that's something. They're mad at themselves and eventually everyone else. So in my view, these people want to be perfect. So when things do not go as they hope it to be, they will get upset. For me, being serious at work and perfect is different. It is good to have a mentality that you do things better. However, perfection is unrealistic and sometimes it's harmful. And you're spending most of the day at work, so why don't we at least nice to each other? It's not so hard, right? 6. Work hard. What do you imagine when you hear working hard? In Japan, it refers to a style of working that values a willingness to work long hours, overtime, communication that emphasizes 호랭서, reporting, contacting, and consulting, and the consideration for formality, and what is known as loyal employment, in which employees are expected to continually contribute to the company. Also, it is the idea that since my boss is still there, it doesn't feel right to leave yet. Likely stem from deep respect for the value of working hard together as group, where stepping away from shared commitment is often seen as something negative. For me, I work to make profit and I need money or something else in exchange, and I believe this is how it's supposed to be. If I work until 7, I clock out 7 with some exception, but if I don't get paid, I don't work because why would I? That's all from me today. What do you guys think? Honestly, it is what it is. I cannot change this virtue and culture of Japan. No, even though I feel like some of them are too much. But I respect in a way, like for example, hard-working culture. I want to put this hard-working mentality not only into work, but my life, which means doing my best to fully enjoy my life, or working hard to realize the best version of life that I want to live. If I'm being honest, I am grateful despite of some bitter experiences. Something I kept in my mind was to keep telling myself that be patient. And now I know more about myself and this society, and I will receive money in exchange.
This is mine.
Plus, I learned many things. And I'm sure things gets better. So it was a nice year. If you are in the hard place, please do not give up.
Oh, I never give up.
You will eventually get it. So let's be patient. Peace.